Okay, hello everyone. This is Colin Cox with Northeast State Community College, and this is the Week 3 audio lecture for English 1010. As you can see from the timestamp, this is an incredibly short bit of audio. That's primarily because you have an essay due at the end of this week, so I would strongly encourage you to check the assignments tab so that you know exactly when this essay is due. It is the first essay, and hopefully you have started writing this essay. Hopefully you have started thinking about this essay, drafting, editing, etc. But if you need to check and confirm exactly what I want from this assignment, I would encourage you to reread the Essay 1 assignment prompt, which is in the Content tab. And how I like to use lectures for these sorts of weeks is to just offer a series of reminders, in addition to just reminding you that, hey, you have something due this week. I would strongly encourage you, as you're editing your work, as you are preparing it for that final draft, definitely read and review some of the AI policies that we have discussed thus far this semester. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch the AI video that I posted to Yuja, which is in D2L, I would strongly encourage you to do that. One of the things that you hear me say in that video is AI usage in this class is not necessarily prohibited. However, there are certain rules, expectations, perhaps best practices that I would encourage you to know and consider. So again, watch that video if you haven't. I describe a series of different scenarios. Some of them are unethical ways of using AI. Others are perhaps ethical and appropriate ways of using AI. But I also wanted to remind you, and I said this in that video, that for most of my students, when they have trouble with AI or I have questions about possible AI usage, it has less to do with, for example, a student asking ChatGPT to write an essay for them. It has far more, in fact, to do with some of the editing techniques they might implement. So for example, if you want to use or intend to use something like Grammarly, I would encourage you, well, first, I would just perhaps discourage you from doing that. However, if you think you know how to navigate that software correctly, try to be as conservative as possible in a non-political sense. All I mean is just take the suggestions, but definitely only take the small grammar, syntax suggestions once you're in this area where Grammarly is actively adding language to what you write. That is an AI infraction, and it's something that we may need to have a conversation about if it becomes a problem. So again, in summary, watch that AI video if you have not. Also, remember, and many of you have emailed me over the last couple of weeks with questions, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if anything seems unclear about my expectations, do not hesitate to email me. I am happy to field those emails. I am happy to discuss anything and everything you would like, in particular if they are questions about what I want. Should I try this in my essay? Is this something you think would be a good idea? I'm more than happy to address those sorts of questions. So, okay, again, I said I wanted to keep this short, and that is hopefully what I did. So, okay, as always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me, and know that the Essay 2 module will be available by the end of this week, because at the beginning of next week, we'll start an entirely new essay. So, okay, thank you, and as always, this is Colin Cox for Northeast State Community College. Have a nice day, and I hope to talk to you soon.